Welcome to Monday Morning Methane, the most exciting day of the week. Last week, I held a workshop at a conference about the EU Methane Rule. There were about 50 operators or 50 people in attendance, I think, mostly operators. And I held a few polls during the workshop, and I wanted to share some of the responses from those polls because I found the results to be very interesting. So the first thing I did was I was asking operators in the room, what kind of operator are you? What is your approach? What is your strategy with regards to the EU methane rule? And around 50%, 56% of operators in the room identified themselves as what we're calling MRV-curious, which is that they're working on measurement-informed inventories, but they're not yet achieving the level 5 requirement set out by the European Commission, and they have not yet explored or achieved independent verification. The rest were split. So about 22% identified themselves as being mostly prepared, so already reporting at OGMP level 5 with independent verification in place. And the other 22% were on the other end of the spectrum in wait and see mode. So very little alignment with any measurement informed inventory and little progress on using measurements for anything more than LDAR. The second question I asked is, how much energy is your company investing in EU methane rule preparation? Around 44% said they were investing some amount of energy and resources. 39% said none. We're deliberately in wait and see mode with regards to this regulation, even though operators are going to need to be compliant, as we've talked about previously, with the MRV requirements with independent verification in place by Jan 1, 2027, which is an extremely, extremely tight timeline. 17% have been investing a lot of energy and resources. And so this is a really significant diversity in approach here with, there's clearly operators out there, 17% of them, at least in this workshop, who are going all in, investing tons of resources into making sure that they're prepared for this, while others are in wait and see mode. The second batch of questions I asked was really around relief, because a lot of operators are looking at the EU methane rule and they're thinking, well, it's not quite sure yet. Yeah, of course, the rule is final, but there's equivalency negotiations that could take place. The rule could be weakened or delayed. And so I asked a set of questions around, what are your expectations and what is your strategy around any type of regulatory relief that may arise? So the first question is, all 5 of these questions are, how much do you agree on a scale of 1 to 10? So 10 is full agreement and 1 is zero agreement. The first statement is, I'm not worried. The Trump administration won't let Europe tell us what to do. And the results here, and the results for the remainder of these questions, are shockingly, I've never seen a uniform distribution, a statistical distribution in the wild like this before. Typically, you expect some kind of bell curve, but we have people who are a hard one on this. I absolutely fundamentally disagree with this statement. There's, for whatever reason, we can get into that in the subsequent questions. And then there's at least one person who strongly agrees with this, another person who voted 8. The next statement here is, a precautionary approach is needed due to the significant current uncertainty in the regulations. International operators must be prepared or risk losing market access. This one, we saw a significant amount of agreement. Only one person voted below a 7, and the majority of people were either an 8, 9, or a 10. And so this means even though operators may believe that some kind of relief is coming, it's unclear what that is. And because the timelines are so tight, it's critical to start getting prepared. Now, this result kind of conflicts with the other one I showed, which is something like 40% of operators being in wait and see mode. So while those operators may believe that, even though they're in wait and see mode, they may believe that a precautionary approach is necessary. Third statement, the EU is not turning back from this and won't make concessions on the import rule. So here we're again at a very uniform distribution. We have people who are very confident with a 1 vote and people who are very confident with a 10 vote, and a lot of folks who are kind of in the middle. Unclear whether or not the EU is going to make any changes or concessions on this rule for importers. Fourth question, something is bound to change to make compliance easier. I'm just not sure what it is yet. The spirit of this question is very similar to the previous one, about the same distribution of responses as well, fairly uniform. And then number 5, if Europe wants to get off Russian gas, they'll take whatever they can get from the US, regardless of methane emissions. And again, very uniform distribution here. I tried to choose some spicy statements to keep things interesting. But here you go. I'm not going to interpret these myself. You can choose to think what you will of these responses. The final set of questions, I'm not going to share all of these, just this one, which is what are you going to do differently, or what are you going to do next as a result of this workshop? We had some great responses here. Folks are saying, we're going to look at our data readiness for 2025 to support assurance by January 1, 2027, because if you're getting independently verified in 2026, it may need to be for 2025 data. So if nothing changes, these timelines are pretty extreme. Look into how we can further strengthen our measurement-informed inventory, or encourage my company to move up our current timelines regarding OGMP compliance, get out from wait and see mode, spend time reading the EU rule, continue to evaluate risk of applicability, lean in on reconciliation, and of course, learn more about EIP. This is Highwood software for making compliance with the EU Methane Rule and OGMP, and other initiatives like MIQ and Veritas easier. I couldn't agree with this advice anymore. The folks who are putting these actions in place, I couldn't have made this up. These are great ideas. So that's it for today. Curious, I think we could have a really good discussion in the comments on this one. What have you heard about in terms of the EU Methane Rule? Can operators expect relief? Do you have any other facts that could inform whether you're voting for a 1 or a 10 that you'd like to share with the community? Does the European Union have the luxury of moving off Russian gas and demanding a premium for its molecules? What are you doing if you're an operator to prepare? If you're a service provider, what are your customers doing to get ready for the EU Methane Rule? So thanks for tuning in today, Monday Morning Methane. I'll see you next week. So take care.